Good morning, everybody. We go again. We go again. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Here we are. Another day, another dollar. It's the Medica week, though. It is the Medica week, guys. Book for the week was Mastering Trading Psychology. I This is the first book so far this year that I have not put on my reading list. I do not recommend it. It is not something that I think that you guys should read. It was a real flop of 9 hours. What I learned was not to listen to trading communities when it comes to trading. I did take a look at a few of the guys that are part of this trading channel. Did I check the Archegos news? Yeah, I did. Go figure. Martini and I had been saying this for since February that if you are trading on margin, you should not be. With the market moves as quickly as we're seeing, yeah, chainmail 7 months. Um, but yeah, what was I saying there? Oh yeah, Archegos. We were saying, guys, if you're trading on margin, you should not be. When the market's moving as fast as they can, you're going to find yourself getting obliterated. What's up, Aneg Patel? I see you over there on YouTube, man. For all of you guys watching elsewhere other than Twitch, I do still see your chat. I do still see your interaction. So thank you, thank you, thank you for watching it and being there. Viacom is on discount. I wouldn't go anywhere near Viacom. It's not one that I'm particularly hot on. For those of you that were here this weekend, you saw that I expanded how I'm going to be taking positions from this point on. I am going to not be doing a lot of day trading. There's going to be that longer term trading that I made so much money on last year. It's not that this year has been terrible, but these longer term plays seem to be kind of where I want to go on that. New plays that I'm looking at for the upcoming quarter. Obviously, I'm still in FTOC. I am still in SNDL. I'm still in ZOM. I'm still in SHG, but I'm looking at taking positions in DGLY, AQB, UMC, and RIDE. As the next plays. And those of you who were here this weekend, you saw that whole breakdown. At the end of the week here, guys, I will be sending access to all the subs to the journal. So keep your eyes on your Twitch mail for that, your Twitch chat. That's just the easiest way I can send out a single email to all of you guys that are Twitch subs. You can get a piece of that, but these are the plays I'm looking at, guys. As far as trading methodology goes, I will be doing an entry and exit on both. This was kind of included in the journal, guys, so you could see what my thought process is, how I find plays, how I break it down. That's just it. And then my exit parameters. This is not where a lot of people like it. A lot of people don't like that there's not a stop loss on here, and I understand that, but that's not how I'm trading. So it would be wrong for me to put that in there. As far as our notes from the weekly DD recap, fairly sparse as far as trades because I'm not taking trades actively. No, stop losses are a phenomenal tool that a lot of people should be using. If you are not glued to your dashboard all day, every day, stop losses make a lot of sense. But I'm here all day. Like even when I'm not doing, like, I'm not live on stream here and I'm not doing stocks in the chat, I have my computers up and I'm doing digital marketing stuff and my dashboard's always up on one of my monitors. So it's like, yeah. I just don't want people. I don't want everybody to abandon stop losses. Please do not abandon stop losses. Those are a good thing. With that in mind, though, that is not financial advice. That's my opinion because I am not a financial professional. I am just a regular old retail trader. So anything that you hear on chat, on mic, from my mouth, that is not financial advice. So this week, guys, we're looking at Chewy earnings tomorrow. This is also ArcX drops tomorrow. We've got Zomedica sales date, Saki 6 months in a row. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Zomedica guys, 6 months in a row. 6 months in a row. Zomedica guys, Wednesday. Yeah, Wednesday is supposed to be the start of their public sales, so we'll see what that does. Heading into a long weekend, who knows when they drop press release, if they drop a press release. Otherwise, I am locked into Zomedica into May. I'm really hoping they do a PR on initial sales, but if they don't, I'm okay holding it till May. I'm not gonna lose my mind over it for sure. But there's a bunch of IPOs dropping Wednesday. EV is going to be big this week. This morning, when we get open here, I'm going to be looking at a PCG September put and ride calls for October. Ride is something that we broke down over the weekend, guys. I think that there's a lot of potential. In ride, I think it's over beat down. Yeah, Neo, XPEV, XPeng, whatever. All of those tickers that you guys love in that industry, they're all going to be a thing. Let's open up marbles here. Landdog63, thanks for the follow, man. Let me know how you found the stream, what it is you trade. Good morning. No, I'm not doing anything with the Suez Canal. No. Nope. That's not to say that I don't think that there's not a play there. I think there is most definitely a play there. I, however, just am not playing it. All right. Man, 74-minute race. All right, guys, get in. We'll run this at 9:20 here, so there's a little bit of time before the market to get that in. Hopefully, all you guys have saw that news about Archegos. Large hedge fund got margin called. They weren't able to cover. They're going to have to liquidate their assets, so you can see a bunch of that stuff. Ever Given, Evergreen, Ever whatever, the ship is moving. So for all of you that are watching that with anticipation, we have a ship moving, ladies and gentlemen. Amazon's starting to get all kinds of lawsuits in regards to workers' rights. What was the name of the hedge fund? Archegos. Yeah, when you have and the other thing with this, guys, when a hedge fund goes down on this margin call, what you're going to hear is the GME narrative start to light back up of, look, we can do it. We can cripple a hedge fund. Everybody hold. Everybody go ape. If I head over to Stock Twits, we will definitely see that narrative. I think we got them, boys. Yeah, yeah. So as soon as I hop over, this is what I'm seeing. Margin calls are beginning. It's happening. The squeeze is starting. Everybody, let's go. Let's go. That's where we are. Okay. Yeah, Viacom Discovery. There were some other ones that they had to do as well. They had Goldman and Credit Suisse. There was a third one. Goldman, Credit Suisse, and somebody else selling off massive portions of their portfolio. So definitely got their hands stuck in the cookie jar on this one. But we'll run it, guys. As always, if you win, you get to pick the ticker for the day that we watch going into the market. I don't know how long the stream's gonna be today, guys. I had a wicked PTSD night last night, so I may hop off here, relatively early instead of my, usually I kick around to 11 or 11:30. I might get back into BTWN. It all really depends on timing. I like it. I like what it is. I like the team on it, but I just don't. I don't have the capital. I think they were highly leveraged into Viacom, and that decline caused the margin call. That's my opinion. The decline on Viacom on Thursday caused a margin call to come in that they could not cover. Oh, it looks like we're coming into cuck territory. It looks like there's areas here where you can get knocked out of this race. So anybody's race. Oh, somebody's in the lead. Oh, Cobbler, get out of here. Get out of here, man. This will be an interesting finish. Oh, Cobbler down. I told you somebody could die. Told you, and you better. All right, all right. See, Annie Betta gets it. Pay to win. Pay to win. There it is, Annie Betta. The bits. The bits did it. This is a capitalist stream, guys. I'm okay with that. Name your ticker, sir. Name your ticker. So Medica was down 8 cents on the pre-market. It's since come back entirely, so. EVS? Sweet.
Hey, Millennial, I don't know how up to it you are today, but I looked over some of Lynch's stuff over the weekend, and I compiled a small list of stuff that I don't know if you actually want to go through or just scrutinize, because I only got to 3 of them.
I don't really have it in me today. I had a pretty wicked night with nightmares and no sleep, so I think I'm going to be around for market open and then probably dip today. It won't be a very long stream, but I mean, if you throw them in the Discord, I'm more than happy to take a look at them and break it down. But I'm going to go right back to bed, I think, after markets open and I see what's happening here. I just want to see, really, I probably wouldn't have even gone on live today had it not been for this Archegos thing. But yeah, I
Just
think
to let
it's
you
going to
know,
be scary.
all right, just to let you know, I did somewhat filter out a lot of the stuff because Lynch was saying that he envied regular investors because he couldn't get into small caps that like had high potential and profits and stuff like that. So I picked the ones that actually showed revenue growth year over year, not the ones that actually lost any sort of revenue at any point. So if they lost revenue, I phased them out. So,
Yeah, I'm going to
but
caution you on doing that because one of Lynch's strategies is sometimes he will grab companies that are having revenue loss because that revenue loss is on R&D investment, and that's actually what he's buying is the R&D on what they're coming out with.
God damn it! All right, I have to really look at it.
Yeah,
But
yeah. Typically, you would be in the right to do that, and I understand why you're doing that. But you guys just, for those of you that don't know Peter Lynch, he's written all kinds of books. There's a couple of them actually on the reading list that I recommend that you guys get your hands on. However, Lynch's strategy is very similar to mine in that he buys companies that he sees doing well.
the thing is though, like it mentioned, like the thing I was reading was saying that he referred to the PEG ratio, and I'm like, I don't remember him ever referring to the PEG ratio or the debt to equity ratio.
Yeah, all the stuff that I've read from Lynch has been about use real world experiences to validate a hypothesis on a position and then go on that position. DGLY is popping. Damn it.
I remember him saying something like, basically, pay attention to the people and what they consume around you, because these, like, the U.S. GDP is 2/3 is gross domestic GDP is consumed of 2/3 of it are consumer based. So if something if something is frequented by them, it should pique your interest as an investment. So, like, something like McDonald's, for example.
Yeah. Yeah, the Derek Chauvin thing starts today. Again, guys, we won't hear anything on that for a while. They in my opinion, they are gonna take their sweet time. They really are. They're just gonna there is no rush on that. I'm
Actually,
not sure like the average age of viewer in my channel, but for any of you that remember the OJ trial back in the days, that's what these are now. Each of these, there's three of them that are all OJ trials. This one with Chauvin, the shooter from what's his name, Rittenhouse,
yeah, Kyle Rittenhouse, yeah.
and then
I'm gonna DM it to you, because a lot of these are low cap stocks, and I don't want people to start going in them because they're low cap, and some of them might have thin volume. So I don't really want to. I don't want to expose people to that.
his redemption's Mike better. I turned it down a bit, so hopefully it's not insane for you guys. DGLY, I see it up a penny. I'm not going to lose my mind on that.
Oh, sorry, I wasn't reading chat. What's up, everybody? My
Well,
mic does
what's
peak
up?
sometimes.
Does Redemption stream? No, he's got a YouTube channel, which I recommend you guys go check out. There's some great stuff on there. It's very GME
It's
heavy at the moment, but that's kind of what the market is at the moment. So, but yeah, guys, Kyle Rittenhouse, the Chauvin trial, and the George Floyd trials. Those three are going to be the big ones. He is silent now while he's not talking, so that's probably why. But I'll move it a little bit. It is a short week, guys. Remember, Thursday is Friday, which has done some interesting things in the past for us in regards to where does F Wednesday fall. I am still updating tip ranks. There's just been nothing to update. So if I go down 15% this month, it looks like the SPY might beat me again this month. But still ranked. ZOM is all over pre-market. Yeah, it was down. It was down 6 to 8, and then it came back, and now it's down 2. Like,
yeah. To nobody's surprise, I'm seeing a bunch of holy shit. There's actually a SPY print up there. We might actually go higher in the SPY. So to nobody's surprise, all the tickers that were mentioned by that was unwinding. I don't know if you kept up with that, but GSX was being unwound this morning.
yeah, I saw that.
IQ, Disc A, Disc K. I don't know if they have VIPs. Viacom, Futu, another GSX one, some Rocket, a lot more Viacom, a lot more IQ.
Yeah. Yeah, Redemption, what is your YouTube channel?
I had to go find it. Give me a second.
So I'm just going to add a custom command because people keep asking for it. Where are the commands? Check commands. Custom command.
I apparently really triggered a bunch of people on stock twits and whatchamacallit, and YouTube, just by talking about their like literally. I think I tried to do this time around. I tried to just search up their bullshit and just debunk them on the spot, which I didn't think they liked, but
All right, so that's in chat now, guys. You should be able to use that. It should pull up redemptions. YouTube channel if ever you want it, need it. As well, guys, if you want to dive into the Discord that we hang out in, a large part of the day, even when I'm not live, I am usually just in there lurking around while I'm doing my work for my few clients that I have left. What else? Yeah, reading list, guys. No expansion on the reading list this week. The book that I read did not make the cut. I did not deem it worthy. I was really, really excited. I thought it was going to be a market wizards book, but for market psychology instead of just market performance or strategy. And instead, it ended up being a book by a trading community on Discord that their community pulled uh, anecdotes from their traders. They are guys that do high frequency technical trading, so I hated it for that. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with technical trading. If you're a technical trader or you're a high frequency technical trader, okay. It's just not how I trade at all. So it that aspect of it where they're telling you, psychology wise, set a dollar goal daily for yourself that you have to hit or else. I don't think that that's valuable information. I really encourage you not to do that. Setting daily goals is a really, really stupid way to play the market. The market expands off of a much larger timeline than that. Yeah, I was not a fan of that. There was some good stuff in there, but it's stuff that we talk about all the time. So, yeah, there's stuff on it. It just irritates the heck out of me. A lot of the stuff that was in there just irritates the heck out of me. Where don't when you take a loss, maybe it's a good idea to step away from your desktop for a little while. If you're not meeting your targets, maybe it's time for you to go to paper trading for a little while. Um, if your read on TA isn't something that you've seen in the community, why is that? Do you actually find an edge or um, my take on Coinbase, I think it's still good. I think Coinbase is going to be an evolving platform. They did get dinged by the SEC, so I think the delay makes sense, but I don't think that there's any need to be losing our mind. Unless some have an ace up their sleeve, their last PR on the first sale has hurt shareholders. I think the way that that headline reads, it should have read inaugural first sale to prolific vet. That's the title you run that PR with. Instead, they didn't do that. So, um, I don't know anything about Decentraland. BTC miners are popping off. Yeah. That Visa's news that they are going to do the US dollar coin so that funds don't need to clear into a fiat. You can have them in USDC is going to be big for that. It's like an NFT world game where you buy merchant land with crypto called Mana. Yeah, so they've done this. This is not the first time this evolution into high value online presence has been there. There was another game, and I can't remember the name of it. Um, Most valuable game sales. It'll pop up on this for sure.
Oh, you talk about probably Second Life or whatever that other offshoot was.
Yeah, it wasn't Second Life, but yeah, it was similar to that. Um, I don't want the most expensive, most valuable online game item sold. Right there.
It was like the planet in that game.
Planet, yeah, Entropia.
Entropy. There we go. Yeah.
Entropia was the name of the game, and there was a planet in Entropia that sold for $6 million.
With the way that game's structured, like that dude made back his investment quite like several times over.
Yeah, and it wasn't the only one. So like there was a specific club in that sold for 635,000. There was a Crystal Palace, and this was back in like early 2000s that this happened, guys. So you can adjust for inflation, of course, but you have to realize that it was a completely different environment back then. So for something digital to sell for that is just crazy. Um, Second Life has one sale here of 50,000. Dota has one for 38 grand. Um, this is more of an updated article. It looks like. Yeah, Planet Calypso is still number one. But with NFTs, I think there's a lot to be said for what's going on. Okay, let's see here. SNDL is up a little bit. Zomedica is down a little bit, which means my portfolio will be
Oh my
down.
god. Stock twist is so stupid. Just now, GME volume rising every second. I'm bullish on this thing. I'm like, it's less than 5 minutes after the open. Of course, volume would pick up. I'm just.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. So, guys, my portfolio right now is down 30%, which would have a lot of people scared. You have to remember I started the year with 50K, and I'm sitting at 75,000 US in value. So for me, I'm up 50% on the year still, which is why I'm not losing my mind on this 30% down. Um, yeah, I'm really not sweating it. Go to the scanners and see who the big movers are. We got 3 halts already, bunch of warrant plays. There's Dolphin Entertainment up 25%. Unusual volume. There's some new names on here that I haven't seen before. China Pharma, Sea Change International. There's Sundial. Sundial is consistently top 10 over and over and over again. There's Zomedica, though. It's good to see Zomedica on this list. It's been a while since it's been on there. So, people taking a lot of big hits. Celdex, Nomura. Nomura is tied to the Nomura is tied to the Archegos thing. Credit Suisse is also tied to the Archegos thing. Um, North American Tankers is down. Wafu. Wafu is another Chinese education one, guys. So GSX, Neju, Teju, Wafu, all of those are probably going to see a hit on GSX going down. So that makes sense. CLDX is the biggest loser, though. It looks like a biopharma that didn't pan out. Ebon's up a little bit. I imagine that we are seeing that Mara, Riot, Sinnoh. Yeah, all of them are gaining slowly back up. DGLY is up 1.8%. That reminds me, I did want to take a position, so I got to get those positions ready. We'll go here. We'll close this. We'll go here. Come on. CCL is down quite a bit here, guys. Coke had news of a protest. Do you also have a long-term portfolio or only the high risk reward? Only the high risk reward. That's it. Um, Yeah, so the issue that they've got now that it's unblocked is they need somebody directing traffic because that was my big concern. Once they get this thing out, you are going to see a massive, massive flux of people trying to get their boat through first. And unless there's somebody there directing traffic, I think you're going to end up with ships colliding and accidents and stupidity. So it's going to be very, very interesting to watch them try to navigate this. the line right now is probably insane. So definitely take that into consideration. Um, okay, I do want to look at a PC and G, but I think Ride is the one that I want to get in more imminently because it is down. Ride.
Wait, Lordstown? That's a fraud though.
No, it's not a fraud. That's what I spent the weekend looking up. I don't think it's a fraud. I do not think so.
They're talking about a what was it, the CEO or whatever, the guy that was wearing the hard hat was talking about like how he had the pre-orders and stuff like that, but they were non-binding.
Yeah, no. So that's exactly the issue. I looked at Hindenburg's report, which was they don't have any orders, and he went, "We never said we had orders. What we said we had was this many pre-orders, and of those pre-orders that we have about $20,000. That was $1,000 a person. So we have 20 vehicles on pre-order. That's it. That's all we have. For me, it's not fraudulent at all. It's everything that they've set on their roadmap is exactly where it should be. They've got the Baja race coming up, and then they are planning to have vehicles to market in October. And everything that they've said, they've internalized their supply chains. They're not reliant on third parties for a lot of the key components that they need for their skateboards. I think that they're in a really good position. I think that they hit their October target. Yeah, I don't think it's a fraud at all. Looking at both of Hindenburg's issues with the company, they posted a video back in June of a truck that had to be loaded on one of the model trucks that they've built, having to be loaded onto a truck bed in the back, and that was their other short report. Was look, this truck broke down and had to be put on a truck. It's like, yeah, I could hop in my van outside right now and it could break down. Who knows why? That's the thing with cars. Sometimes they break down, and sometimes it's a funny little thing of like a connector came loose, or like it's not like the vehicle was blowing up; that it was on fire and exploding. So, yeah, as soon as the COVID restrictions are lifted, the CEO said he is going to be doing public tours of the plant to show people what they're doing and what they're working on inside the factory. That is going to be there. The other things that they mentioned that were of interest to me were have been requests from other OEM producers to sublet or use the space that they are using, because clearly they don't have need of, at least right now, a massive amount of a massive amount of space, especially not the entire warehouse that they have purchased here, but so they're looking to actually rent that space out. So the big one for me to watch is the Baja in June. If they can deliver some results off of their skateboard on that, I think it'll be big for them. But this beat down from 30 to 11 is too much. Am I saying that they're a $60, $80 company? I'm not saying, but at $10, this thing has been beat down too much. Okay, Ride October. Damn, those got expensive. Those were not expensive over the weekend. I guess I go the Julys then.
Was it always about 100 something IV, or did it just increase because of coverage around it?
I don't know. Um, I'm gonna have to look at the Ride Julys, I think. Um, I find IB's options have actually been quite slow these days. The EU is looking to call nuclear energy as green energy. Interesting. Solar and wind is not doing it for them. I'm shocked.
Michael Burry was right. Oh my god.
Okay, where am I? Yeah. What's Zemetica? Zemetica's just dead even on the day, right? Yeah. Oh man, oh man, oh man. What do you think of VLDR? VLDR. LiDAR technology? Meh. I've kind of come to the point on this that if I'm going to play any kind of automotive play, well, I guess I should say with EV over the weekend, I took a look at Ride, but my other car play is BlackBerry, and I think BlackBerry is something I'm going to start putting positions into a little bit more frequently.
Order filled.
Uh, Order filled, huh? Okay, so that's my UMC out, which means I can put this to 45. See if I can get a fill on this. Seriously, you're not going to come down? Just come down and grab it. Whatever. I'll just take it.
Order filled.
Okay, so that's a ride play for July. These GME puts probably are not going to pay out, guys. This GME put for April 1st is probably not going to pay out. Which is fine. My thing with the psychology on GME is I don't think that retailers can maintain this hold narrative. It's more difficult for you to stand on a position long term. So I'm going to buy this and hold this for a long period of time, especially when you're coming out of a day trader mentality of trading whatever meme stock the day has for you. There are a lot of people that are watching a lot of plays, doing a lot of things, and I'm sure they're getting antsy of constantly holding this thing, seeing that there's not been. I know a lot of people say, well, there was upward movement last week. Isn't that a good thing? There wasn't really upward movement last week. Um, if we look at, let's go to GME on the week. I just want to show you guys here. Let's go a month. So last week, guys, was the drop. What did we start last week? 322? Yeah, 322. Okay. So we started the week at 202, and the highest this went was 220 before falling back down to 184. So I mean we ended the week 184 at a 200 start. That's down. The week before from 319 to 315. Week opened at 268. Week finished around the 200 line. The week before that was the run up. So this is where there was hope. And then right before earnings, fell. So from earnings, 268. No, what was the peak of this? 349, all the way back down to the 250 level, and then down to the 200 level. Dipped down to the 120 level briefly, and then came back to the 180 level. But week after week, we're seeing this thing slowly step down. And there will come a dam break, right? There will come a period of time where the floodgates open and people just say, fuck this shit, I'm out. And that's just kind of the reality of what's going to go on there. I don't think that, especially psychologically, that large group of people is going to be able to hold into infinity. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Eventually evaluation will matter. Eventually, I think the thing that needs to break is the narrative that there is still a short squeeze on this thing. There are many people clinging to, and they're starting to talk about things that for them are new discoveries, and so that's giving them hope that the short squeeze is still alive. They're talking about dark pool moving in and out of positions, and look, dark pools are doing this and that. It's like, well, you don't really understand what you're saying. Those dark pools aren't really evidence of a imminent short squeeze. Those are just people pushing and pulling positions somewhere where they don't have to worry about retail traders staring at them. Those positions could be either way, though, is my understanding as to how people are trying to read those dark pools. They're just assuming that they are taking a position in their favor, which is really, really dangerous, in my opinion. Redemption's a little more familiar with dark pools, but I think if you try to put your bias onto a large dark pool position, you could find yourself in a lot of trouble real fast. Mr. Talented 495, thanks for the follow, man. Let me know what it is you trade, how you found the channel. If you guys are lurking, please hit those follows, subscribes, all that jazz.
Yeah, not a lot of people
Yeah, not a lot of people understand dark pool.
There's not a lot of information out there.
Well, and yeah, it feeds that narrative of like there's this whole dark belly underworld of trading that people are unaware of. And for most people that have been around for a little while, when you start mentioning dark pools, nobody's losing their mind on that, right? Like it's like, oh,
yeah, no one cares.
Yeah,
nobody cares. No one understands it because it's like a myth to them, right? So they don't even understand how it operates fully. Like the funny thing is that like you'll never fully understand everything, even if you're in there, and they seem to act like they understand even a remote sliver of it. So
yeah. Snow, looking at this, so it's real-time analysis and signal processing for intracardial atrial fibrillation and tachycardia. The company's in agreement. Blah blah blah. Yeah, so this is real-time heart analysis as they are working on it. Nervous system diseases, Mayo Foundation. I mean, this stuff is here. Yeah, it's a signaling system. My issue with this is you can never when I go to the FDA calendar, when I go to the biopharma calendar, there's no medical devices here. They go through a completely different approval process, and it can just be any day, right? Like any day you could get an approval. In which case, it runs, or it could never get an approval, in which case you're left holding a bag of dog shit. Um, there's no warning. There's no this might happen soon kind of deal. If it works, yeah, I mean 5, 10 years, it'd be great. But if it doesn't work, well, you've been holding for 5 or 10 years, and it's just gonna all be gone. So yeah, as somebody who's traded bio, they have products that they are currently selling. What kind of revenues are generating? In their last quarter, let's see. Is that their last quarterly? November? These are not in thousands. They list the full number here. So they've got another 20 million in assets that they didn't have before. Cash on hand has increased slightly. It's not a ton of cash on hand, so be aware of that. As of last quarter, they only had $800,000, which is not enough to operate. Am I not playing the SPPI into May? There's too many plays. There's too many plays. I don't think I'm going to have the capital. First things first is like, I got to get that there. That was last year? No. Well, September 2020. This is their last quarterly. This is the last actual numbers that we've had that are filed. So when they drop a new quarterly, I'll have that. But this is their last quarterly, and as of their last quarterly, they only have $800,000 cash on hand. Their liabilities have increased by almost $2 million year over year. So they're increasing debt. It looks like they diluted. That's where the additional assets came from. A lot of spending in research and development, so that's good. That's what you want to see with a bio company. This is a big red flag for me. This general and administrative. They increased their admin fees by over. Oh yeah, the ticker's not open. I should have opened that this morning. Sorry about that. But their admin fees are huge. They've upped by almost $4 million. Seeing a net loss on the quarter. Where was their revenue line? I didn't see a revenue line. If they're selling product already. Cash flow from operating. So a net loss of $30 million. Where's their revenue? Yeah, but this means nothing. This isn't a file. Like these numbers that they state in here are not filed, so they're not real, which is part of my problem. I'm trying to actually see where their revenue is coming from. Vendor deposits are. They do have an increase on vendor deposits here. It's really weird that there's no revenue line. There's stock value and equity-based compensation. I don't see anything for revenue. Yeah, so they're not actually selling a product yet. They're licensing assets. That's a red flag for me. That they're borrowing tech from people. That's a red flag. Yeah, I'm just not. Yeah. So I guess my spin on it, Snow, is I don't like medical devices because if something goes wrong, you have no foresight. You have no date in mind. You could just wake up one morning and the entire stock has lost 75% of its value. Which can still happen with pharmaceutical side, but at least with the pharmaceutical sides, you have a date and you've got reports from events to give you some indication as to what the sentiment and the scope is heading into that date. The lack of a deadline, the inability to time, makes device trading in bio still a big red flag for me. And I mean, typically I advise people go out there and read and learn and grow and understand that. But with this, ultimately, the big hitch for me with any device is there's no date. You can, yeah, trying to play it on a news catalyst, that's a completely different thing because that'll give you a potential buy date, right? Like, oh, well, there's talks about an acquisition heading into Q3 of next year. Like, okay, well, that's not bad because then you're not actually trading the device, you're trading the acquisition. And that's something completely different. That's a very different play. Um, I don't know that I would put anything towards this until you see their next earnings call and check the revenue line. That would be kind of my big shtick. Viacom's going to keep falling. Wells Fargo has more Viacom to sell. Oof. It's free. It's free. The blockage could last until next week. Oof. Yeah, in my mind, if you were still chartering courses through that Suez Canal last week, somebody's an idiot. You should have been rerouting your ships from Go on this around the tip of Africa. You will
Yeah, the
arrive.
Horn of Africa.
Yeah, you will arrive faster or around the same time. Yes, there is a slight cost increase, but this is insanity. That anybody is still sending ships into this parking lot that is a canal, like that's insanity. That's poor business management. If a ship set sail in the last week while this was happening, they should not have been plotting courses through the Suez. They should have immediately made headway for the Horn of Africa. Immediately, it's or dropping at a port and land traveling. There's huge costs just having those ships floating. Yeah, it's kind of nutty. Now, this is only, I think, only going to make things like the semiconductor shortage, the meat shortages. I think that's only going to make it worse. So, uh, is there? You know what? I would not be surprised with all those ships just kind of floating. That if there was some piracy, when you say pirates, now I don't know what you're going to get, but Pittsburgh Pirates, yeah. All you're getting is baseball. Pirates Asia. Yeah, now you're just getting piracy articles. Oh, there is a piracy boom off of West Africa. So here's another potential risk then. If there is a boom in West African piracy as you're bringing those ships around the Horn and back up the other side, there's a risk that your cargo could get taken. Um, So it's this area here called the Gulf of Guinea that's causing the issue. So when you come around the bottom of the Horn of Africa, in my mind, you just stay clear of this. Don't hug the coast. Stay clear and circumvent the Gulf. Like don't even go in here. Don't ride this. That is east? No, that is west. Here is Africa. This is the east side. This is the west side. Could be the current. Could also be typically the plan when you sail large cargo ships, containers like that, is you stay as close to land as possible because what happens if something goes wrong, right? Like, but in this case, I would argue that the thing that's going wrong is you riding this Gulf of Guinea and having pirates show up. Now that's nothing. Oh, the Suez. Yeah, the Suez is East Africa for sure. Um, but yeah, I'm talking less about the Suez ships and more about the ships that are being rerouted around the Horn of Africa. That this may be one of the reasons why shipping companies are hesitant to do so because there's a piracy net right here up the west coast. But again, I would agree that if you just parked a couple of carriers here from the U.S. Army out in international water right here, then I think that would be okay. There's definitely a route that you can take to avoid going into that west coast. You can just circumvent this whole thing, but you have to sail out into ocean waters, which some of these large weighted some of these large weighted cargo ships would not fare so well in. So if you go too close to the well, I mean, your options are the parking lot that is the Suez Canal, ocean waters that may capsize your vehicle and you lose everything, or pirates. I think you gotta kind of toss a coin. So gotta kind of toss a coin. Let's see. Am I seeing any crazy movement anywhere? Zomedica down 4 cents. SNDL up 2. I didn't know that they had a limit. Maybe it's because I'm using that cash thing. I'm using the get around paywall thing. I'm not seeing anything today that's really got me going, guys. EV is going to be a play into the week for sure. I did exit my UMC call for October and instead shifted it to a ride call for July. Um, I am break even on this CCL. I think I might sell it. Yeah, it's the bypass that Martini found. That's the one that I use. I don't have a limit as to free articles that I can look at on Seeking Alpha. Um, it doesn't work for all sites. There's some that are still. I go to Wall Street Journal. This one still gives me problems. Yeah, I think AQB is going to be a big one for me as far as the options go. Just looking at it. I'd love to get some equity on it as well. That AQB is at $6 right now is just kind of nutty to me. I think that this is going to get this is going to be such a sweet play if I can get the capital in time. All right, though, ladies and gents, like I said, I had a rough night last night. I am completely wiped. Why? What's good about AQB? They're selling their fish. And they're also expanding into a larger, well, they're not expanding into a larger facility. They are adding on an additional larger facility to grow more. So, homegrown domestic meat product. I'm very bullish on it, especially with the shortages in meat in Asia. I think there's a big opportunity there. But yeah, guys, I am completely wiped. So I'm gonna call it. I know it's a much earlier or shorter stream than I would normally do, but I'm just wiped. So I'm gonna go have a Monday nap. Yeah, tomorrow, same thing as usual, though, guys. I will be back around. I'm not going to take any day off this week because we do have a short week. So I will be here Wednesday as well. But yeah, that's it. Have an amazing Monday, and I will catch you guys tomorrow.